with that being said, I'm going to move forward to Ann Chang, and I'm going to give her a quick little intro. Give me 1 second, everybody. I had everything set up for Melanie, and I am quickly ready for Ann. I hope everybody is having a good morning. I appreciate your patience so much. Ann is going to be talking to us about pre-listing updates. So she is going to be talking about how we can spend the least to get the most. I think we're all here for that. We're all here for spending the least to get the most out of that. Everybody wants a good deal. So with that, Ann found a calling in real estate by empowering other real estate professionals to succeed as a devoted teacher and mentor. A Bay Area native with a proven track record of delivering results for her clients for over 15 years, guys. The truly personalized experience for her clients, Ann incorporates modern processes and procedures into her methodology. When she needs to find balance and get away, she enjoys spending time with her family and practicing yoga and meditation while exploring the San Francisco Bay Area. Ann's clients describe her as she incorporates a high-touch meets high-tech methodology. She leverages state-of-the-art technology to elevate the client experience at every opportunity. She takes smooth steps all the way. Amazing. I love it. Fantastic operating policy. So I love it so much. And I'm going to, with that being said, she's coming up to the stage right now, guys. Let's wish her a good morning and all of those things, all of the niceties. Hi, Ann. Lovely to see you this morning. How are you?
Morning. How are you?
Good. Oh, the real Ann Chang, a class act. You're getting all of the accolades this morning, Ann. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Melanie.
Oh, hey, there's Melanie. Hi.
Good, Melanie.
Hey, you get 2 for the price of 1.
Melanie, turn off your camera and microphone, and you'll go next. We're going to have Ann go right now. Thank you, though. I knew it. Refresh the browser. We got it. We're good to go. So, with the market so hot right now, Ann, and multiple offers on each property, why would you recommend a seller do some updates before putting the home on the market?
Yeah, that's a great question, Marissa. I know, the inventory is very tight, and we all talk about how crazy the market is. Everything is getting multiple offers, and everything is gone by within 5 days, right? Or even lower. So why would you take the time as a seller to update your home? And I think it comes down to 2 very fundamental concepts when you're buying or selling houses. And those 2 concepts are money and time. And I'm going to explain the vantage point from a seller and a buyer with regard to money and time. And then you can see how these 2 concepts tie in together of why updating a home is important. So first of all, money. So from the seller's vantage point, seller always want to sell for more money, right? And seller always want to sell for, quickest amount of time. So they always ask me when I'm in an interview, how high can I sell my home and how quickly can I sell it? So money and time is very important to the seller. Now, in order to achieve that, updating the property is one of the best way to achieve that. And the reason for that is because we have to switch hats and look at the buyer's vantage point. So most of the buyers in our Bay Area, if you look at their profile, who they are, they're high income earners. They're fairly sophisticated in the process, and they also buying a home being one of the biggest investment in their life. They want to know that they're making a smart and good decision on their investment, right? So it is a huge investment. They want to, put their money where it's worth, right? So, and they come in from this perspective when they're looking at homes, even though the inventory is very tight, but when they look at homes, they still want to feel like they make a smart investment, okay? And the second thing is that with regard to their time, buyers, usually they, a lot of people are professionals, young professionals in our marketplace who in the Bay Area who are the buyers right now. They're very busy at work, and most of them probably don't have the time to update or renovate a home after they purchase it. So when they go out to shop for homes, they want to look for homes that are turnkey, move-in ready. And a lot of buyers usually are willing to pay the premium for something that is already done and ready to move in. So in order to cater for that, as a seller and as a listing agent, we want to recommend sellers to update their home because of this reason. Even though the inventory is tight, right? But with the number of homes that the buyers can go out and look for, we want to become the obvious choice for the buyers. We want to provide value and let the buyers know that you are getting this home with the greatest value, and it's very easy. You don't have to. And most of the time, the buyer will, be willing to pay the premium for it.
That makes absolute sense. I love that. Great answer, and really good for anybody that's listening right now. So thank you so much for that. And our next question, what are the typical updates that you recommend sellers make? So if I'm coming to you, what would you tell me?
So very typical updates when I come in to do a walkthrough during a listing appointment. So again, we're putting when I explain this to sellers, we're putting this in the buyer's eyes as well. When buyers walk into your home, what do they see, and how can you present value when they walk into your home, right? So again, you have to think in terms of the buyer. When the buyer come in, there are three things that hit their eyes. So basically 2 planes: the wall, the ceiling, and the floor, right? So in the very minimal and basic level, you want to make sure that the floor is maybe we finish the floor. Some of the basic updates, interior paint that shows the wall is very clean, no blemishes. And these are all the things that you can do in a very cost-effective way, the very basic level of updates. And plus, when you live in a home for this many years, a few updates can really freshen it up. So I would recommend interior paint. Look at the floor. If it has any blemishes, maybe have a contractor to, buff it up or, refinish it. Wall and ceiling paint, baseboard paint. So those are the very basic updates. And also for the exterior, I would recommend, having a curb appeal is very important. Usually that's the first picture or the first thing that buyers see when they visit your home, right? Either online or in person. So having that nice curb appeal is very important. So get a gardener to, prune the trees. Maybe just do some basic pruning at the very basic level. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you were finished. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, no problem. So so those are the basic updates. And then what else? Oh, one of the things I look at when I walk into a home is, and this is maybe I wouldn't say a mistake, but a lot of people don't realize. If you walk into a home that's not prepped, a lot of times the light bulbs, it's very mismatched. So one of the things when I do that walkthrough, one of the basic changes I recommend to the sellers is change some of the light fixtures. It will really bring out the modernness of the home and also the freshness of the home when you have a consistent, some nice light fixtures and consistent light color and consistent warmth is very important. So you don't have like white light here, yellow light there, that kind of like, it's not very easy in the eye when you see it. So consistency,
sense. And so are there some circumstances or some instances where you tell people not to do any updates at all?
I feel like that's a trick question. Is there any instance when there's no updates? I think a very simple answer, when a home is already fully updated, then you may not need update, right? But, when we talk about updates for sellers, people may automatically think of, renovation, I need to do this to my bathroom, I need to do that to my kitchen. In fact, when you're doing a listing, when you're selling your home, I actually want to recommend sellers to do it. Just go with the basics. Don't overdo it. Don't do it beyond your budget. So it really based on the seller's budget of how much update they can do. And in many cases, when I talk to sellers, I actually go in the perspective like home improvements instead of updates. When you're saying updates, you're changing a lot of stuff. But are there things that you could improve upon? So a couple of things I just touched upon in the last question is like interior paint, right? Very basic and very cost effective, but it has a really good effect. Changing a few light bulbs, which any homeowner can do themselves or hire a handyman, have really, nice effect already. So I would highly recommend doing at least some updates. At the very minimum, do a deep cleaning, right? So things like that.
Love it, Ann. You're giving such amazing tips. When people are performing updates, do you recommend that sellers apply for a permit?
So it really depends on what kind of updates, right? So we can go from just painting the wall, changing some light bulbs, changing some fixtures, to all the way to like a full-on renovation. So depending on what kind of updates, some of the updates, if you're touching electrical, plumbing, and especially structural, changing the rooms, then you definitely want to apply for a permit. The best way to approach this is talk to a qualified licensed contractor and have the contractor help you determine which part of the updating needs permit or not. And usually they have a pretty good idea what needs to get permit and what does not. I think the main point is if you were to do some changes, make sure you hire a qualified licensed person to help you, because the result will be different. It just guarantees the work. I wanted to touch base on the permit as well. So I know that some sellers may say, oh, I just want to skip the permit process. I want to either save money or I don't want to go through the trouble. And usually it's a lot of time they said they didn't want to go through the trouble. It's not because they didn't want to get a permit, right? But here's the benefit, a couple of benefits of getting a permit when you're selling a home. Number one, it guarantees the quality of the renovation, because when you pull a permit, most likely the city's inspector will have to come to check on the work, make sure everything is done up to code, right? Make sure the work is done by a licensed person, tradesperson. So there's a guarantee of work, right? Number two is that permits keeps a good record. So when you submit your disclosures to the potential buyers, these permits actually serve as a record for the home. And when buyers who come in don't know anything about your home, and when they see these paperwork and see how organized you are, they actually feel that you're really taking care of the home, and they're willing to pay more for it because they feel very comfortable paying for what you have done. And then these permits will also serve as a long-lasting record for this home down the future for these buyers when they plan to sell. So it's actually a very good value added information, for the home.
Love it. I think that's great. Are there any additional reports or inspections that sellers need to do need to take care of to prep for a sale, Ann?
So I think in California, sellers do not need to order any reports. Usually, by contract, it's the buyer's responsibility to do their investigation, order reports. In our marketplace in the Bay Area, however, sellers are recommended to order reports and inspections. And the reason for that, again, going back to the time and money thing, right? So when offer comes in, the best price in terms of the offer will comes from something that is very clean. We said, it's a very clean offer because it can close in a short amount of time and has very little contingency. And the reason buyer are able to make those decisions is based on how much information you provide to the buyer before they put in an offer. So when the seller order inspections and order these reports, the seller is voluntarily presenting these information to the buyers and help them make a very informed decision when it comes to decision on how much price they should offer in and how much contingency they should attach to the contract. So it's actually a mutual beneficial way, mutual beneficial thing for the seller to order these reports.
Love it. Thank you so much, Anne. Well, so far I haven't seen any questions come into the Q&A. Let's make sure if there's any questions right now that we all have for Anne that we go ahead and grab them before she exits our virtual stage, guys. But she just gave you guys so much information. Even Shalyn said that's a really professional tip. She said thank you. So, which was true. You gave probably so many great tips. If anybody was really listening, hopefully everybody was really listening. Are you listening? We're reading the comments right now. They're saying, thanks for sharing, Ann, all the insider tips. Yay. Okay, good job. You did fantastic. The listing machine at her best is what you got from Perry. Perry has a nickname for everybody. I'm so curious to see.
I know. Thank you, Perry. Thanks for being our cheerleader on the side.
The rest of everybody's